So I had a thought here. So Dick Algeier, Future Forecasting Group, they recently did a target, I guess, gold and silver and such. And I remember one of the highlights was that there's going to be approximately, I think they said around a 6-month period of metals being hard to get, as in precious metals. So naturally that would assume we're going to have some pretty high prices. However, one of the things they talked about in there was like they saw these Chinese men, businessmen or government men sitting at a table having a meeting, and they're talking about how their U.S. dollar holdings in bonds, treasury bonds, is basically becoming worthless or worth a lot less. Meanwhile, gold is being revalued what seems to be a lot higher. And they're in this little predicament. You know, on one hand, we've got this gold that's up, but on the other hand, we've got these treasury bonds that are pretty much becoming worthless. What the hell are we going to do about that? And it just made me, it sparked a little thought, you know, for me. I had that dream a while ago. And I'm like, man, I saw $6 silver and sub $1,000 gold. And I thought, well, could it be a new currency? But I remember seeing the chart of, I think it was the gold chart, and just seeing this big giant red candle down. To me, that's not, here's a new currency price. Like, here's a new currency, here's the value of it. The value of gold in this new currency. A red candle is something is dumping on the markets. And I thought, well, what if the Chinese decide, well, we do want that higher value gold, but we also want to buy a lot of it cheap before it goes high. Or maybe after it started going high. Maybe they realized we'll just buy all the paper contracts, because it's all paper on the COMEX and the London market. You know, but allegedly people own a certain amount of gold through these paper derivatives contracts, commodities market. And maybe they go, let's go in and control all of it. And we'll dump it on the market. We'll own all the share, you know, we'll own all the contracts, and they'll manipulate the price down potentially. Now, they're not saying this at the remote viewing that they did. I'm just giving you some thoughts here. Because either A, we're not going to see $6 silver or sub $1,000 gold. My dream is just, hey, that timeline is gone. It's not happening, period. You know, as in you don't get everything right. So there's that possibility. I'm just trying to figure out how that could still happen. And I'm thinking, if I'm the Chinese, I want cheap gold. If I know the gold price is going to go way up, I want it cheap first. Or even if it starts going up, and I can manipulate it down cheaper so I can buy more with these worthless treasury bonds that they're going to cash in on. Use that money to buy the cheaper gold. And then let the prices go higher afterwards, right? That would be an absolute strategic move on any country's part. If you're holding treasury bonds from the U.S. that you're realizing are becoming worthless, and gold's getting higher, you want the asset. You want the gold, not these paper garbage things called treasury bonds, or backed by the U.S. dollar, and even get U.S. dollars for those treasury bonds as you collect your interest payments and your final payoff when those treasury bonds are due. So you're thinking, I've got this one thing that's a depreciating asset, I want to buy this other one that's a major appreciating asset. And you have the manpower, the money, and everything to manipulate markets. Why not do that? Drop the price of all those things, gold, silver, other metals. Cash in on it while you can. Buy them all up while you can. And then, okay, now let's let the price run. You know, I could see that happening, but it's just a scenario. I thought, how could I see $6 silver under $1,000 gold in my dream happening? Like, how could I see that? How could that play out with this new news from the remote viewers? So that's what came to mind. So on that note, I bid thee farewell.